Live at 9.
Now, turning to matters environment, civil society organizations in Karamoja have attacked government over its poor regulation and monitoring of the mining activities in the mineral-rich sub-region. They argue that government's indifference has led to unprecedented environmental destruction, which must be tackled fast for sustainable development. This and more in tonight's Environmental Focus.
It is beehive activity at low-power gold mining site with men, women and children involved in the search for the precious metal. Over 7,000 people from within and outside Moroto district make a living from this and several other mining fields. Resting is not part of the game, as weaklings are easily pushed out of work. Lack of water is the biggest challenge at the site. The area is so dry that the nearest water source is 5 kilometers away. A 20-liter jerrycan of water is sold at 4,000 shillings.
We have no water here.
Although this region has different minerals, which would provide opportunity for majority of the people, the reality is different. A lack of effective regulation has left most residents at the whims of a few. The mining of gold has a strong bearing on the environment, natural resources, and critical ecosystems as a whole. The situation is made worse by lack of regulation, which has left vast areas degraded and unrestored through the destruction of vegetation, open pits, and deforestation.
Mining activity that involves removing something from the ground definitely affects the environment. For example, trees have to be cut or uprooted for you to access the minerals that are underground. So in the process, destruction takes place.
Extensive landscape clearing takes place before mining takes place in the area. This leaves a lot of environmental footprints, as some species take long to regenerate in hot and dry areas like Karamoja. The sub-region has over 50 different minerals with marble, clinker and gold employing more people. There is concern, however, that many investors have no regard for the environment, especially in less monitored areas.
And what we call environmental impact assessments prior to acquiring the mining licenses. But when you go where they are operating, you don't see any signs of restoration is going on. It is open land and excavating.
Most of these miners and companies are not observing minimum requirements of environmental protection. It is largely held that many companies do not conduct environmental impact assessments prior to acquiring mining licenses. Poorly funded government agencies like the National Environment Management Authority have done little to stop the degradation.
Some companies, for instance, which are gold mining companies, they have put a lot of machineries here, they have excavated the land, and mainly during the exploration, maybe the quantities were not satisfactory enough for them to continue mining. There is no mechanism. You just abandon machines and the bare land, degraded land, and then you leave. So it is very, very typical. So we call upon the government to take this very serious. And also, if we think the laws are weak, to enforce that like an environmental bond. It is high time during the current ongoing review process of the mining policy and the act to incorporate all those. And beyond just on paper, it should be, or they should be enforceable.
Most artisanal gold miners use mercury, an element dangerous to humans and the environment when poorly handled.
In Karamoja, and with the influence of the use of mercury, the environment is at a very high risk. Well, some of the areas, there is no use of mercury. But we fear that if this mercury could be introduced to the region, that considering that Karamoja has very scarce and limited water resources, it would really be a very big it would be a very toxic to the environment. So in mining, we are saying that no mercury in mining.
Karamoja is home to many wildlife and forest reserves. Unfortunately, the same reserves harbor a number of mineral types. Activists are concerned mineral activation in these protected areas could affect conservation. NEMA Jairen, Janina Nabukira, NBS Live at 9.